we doing today? OLIS ASMR World here, hope we're all good. So I've just recorded a little ramble, which I'll be uploading before this video today. Basically saying what I'm feeling right now about the channel, and by needing a bit of a shake-up. Today we're going to be covering some football. We're going to be taking a look at the top 10 Premier League players of the season so far. Are we? Yes, we are. I had to check them to make sure I was correct. Yeah, top 10 players of the season so far. This was put together by Football 365. I've used their lists quite a bit in the past, and we're returning to them now. And this was put together about 10 days ago. Okay. In at number 10, we have Aaron Wan-Bissaka, the Crystal Palace right back. Prior to the win over Fulham earlier this month, Roy Hodgson was coming to the conclusion that the Crystal Palace fullback was a machine. He actually made a mistake in the 94th minute, and I was relieved because I was starting to think he might be a robot, is what Hodgson said. That's a neat summary of Wan-Bissaka's form this season. As far as it is from The Guardian, he is the only player in England to boast 40 or more tackles completed to take-ons 40 and interceptions 57, and only 7 opponents have successfully wriggled beyond him. Quite incredible for a 21-year-old who wanted to move to League 2 on loan a year or so earlier. Now, the only moves linked with Wan-Bissaka are bloody big ones. Chelsea are reportedly keeping an especially close eye on the England under-21 fullback, who was a winger until only very recently. But Palace fans will tell you they aren't quite finished with him yet. He's one of their own. It's inevitable he will move. Obviously not to see because they got Kyle Walker, but United need a well. I say that Diego Dalot is a very, very good player. Just Solskjaer's breaking him in slowly, as was Mourinho. Tottenham, they could possibly do him. Trippier's mistake the other day, oh my god. But yeah, I can see Chelsea going for him especially. Number 9, Declan Rice. The West Ham youngster was at pains to point out that just because he had opted to represent England rather than continue with the Republic of Ireland, there is no presumption of a call from Gareth Southgate. But sustaining the form he has shown since Manuel Pellegrini used the 20-year-old to firm up the base of his midfield earlier in the season will inevitably lead to a senior cap for the Three Lions sooner rather than later. It's funny really because when Moyes was there last season, there was a game, I can't remember who against, might be Man City, might be wrong, and he made a mistake, Declan Rice did, because I think he's naturally a midfielder, I'm sure he is, and he's been played in defence out of position by Moyes, and he had some experienced players back there, Moyes did, and Rice made a mistake, and afterwards Moyes came out and criticised him, and he got quite a bit of stick on the radio for that, David Moyes did, for, pointing out a mistake by a young player. His international future was just one of the dilemmas weighing on Rice's mind this season, with contract talks heaping more attention on the West Ham academy graduate. Not that he has looked distracted. After opening with 4 consecutive defeats, it is probably no coincidence that West Ham got their season on track when Rice became a regular. Since a trip to Everton in mid-September, the centre-back turned midfielder, also who's naturally a centre-back then, has missed not a minute of Premier League football. He's been so good that City, Liverpool and Man United are all said to be completely unmoved by the fact he has penned new terms with his boyhood club. I'd like to United. I mean, Matic is not getting any younger. Matic's like 31, 32 now. I would happily have him in there to take over from Nemanja Matic in the next couple of seasons. Paul Pogba in at number 8. Sorry guys, I got a lot of sleep in my eye. This one required some deliberation. How can we include a player who was wretched on the pitch for a full half season while arguably being worse off it? Since Pogba flicked the switch upon the dismissal of Jose Mourinho, the France midfielder Man United supporters knew he could be. Was Mourinho telling him not to run, fight, pass, dribble and shoot like he has for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? Of course not. But modern management is largely about motivating players to offer their best. No matter how much you might feel, that crucial aspect of performance is down solely to the individual. Since Solskjaer came in and fluffed up Pogba, the World Cup winner has been sensational. PSG aside, 8 goals and 5 assists in 9 Premier League games is form too good to ignore, and his contribution has been perhaps the biggest factor in United's post-Mourinho resurgence. I mean, listen to that. 8 goals and 5 assists in 9 Premier League games. That's pretty incredible. That's playing a part in 13 goals in 9 games. Number 7, Raheem Sterling. Pep's a hard bastard to please. In the last games he didn't score and he didn't make a good performance, but it's normal. The City boss said after Sterling led the demolition of Chelsea. Ups and downs always happen with a lot of games, but today he was incredible. Not just for the goals, but for the penalty and the defensively he helped us a lot. Very good. Maybe the Newcastle defeat stuck in Guardiola's mind, and Sterling was as poor but no worse as anyone else. But otherwise, the England forward has been good for a goal or an assist in every other game he's started since December 30th. In total, Sterling has 14 goals and 15 assists in 33 City appearances this season. That's not bad form at all. His productivity in front of goal is presumably down to some hard graft on his finishing. Last season, Sterling was shooting with an accuracy of 51%. This term, he's up to 78%. Of Premier League forwards to have scored more than a single goal, only Anthony Martial is more accurate with his finishing. Fair enough to Martial. Son Heung-min is in at number 6. No wonder the South Korean is on the verge of his second pay rise of the season, when Spurs found themselves dangling precariously over the ship following injuries to Harry Kane and Dele Alli. Son rushed back from the Asian Games to pull them back from the edge just in the nick of time. But it's unfair to suggest that Son waited until January to turn it on. After shining and scoring his first goal of the season in the win over Chelsea in November, the Blues' first defeat of the campaign, the first star attacker has netted 14 goals in 19 matches, while weighing in with 7 more assists. After his international exploits, Son was presumably in the red zone, and after his first game back he looked absolutely knackered. But in the 3 Premier League matches since returning from Qatar, the 26-year-old has netted in the 80th, 83rd and 91st minutes to secure an equaliser, a winner and a game sealer. This season it's simple. When Son scores, Spurs win. It's probably why they haven't won in the last 2 games. Number 5, Mo Salah. The question on many people's lips back in autumn, what's wrong with Mo Salah? There is no doubt the Liverpool star wasn't quite his usual predatory self. Was it fatigue? Is he just a one-season wonder? Probably. And fuck no are the resounding answers the Golden Boot holder has offered to those questions through the winter. It was only after his hat-trick at Bournemouth that it seemed like Salah had his swagger back. But even though he struggles during the early weeks of the season, the Egyptian was still scoring. 7 of his 17 Premier League goals came in the first 13 games, of which Salah started all but 1. It may have been a lean spell by Salah's standards, but we need to remind ourselves how ridiculously high those standards are. Still, Jurgen Klopp will be hoping Salah can improve his record against Liverpool's main rivals as the Reds approach the home stretch. The 26-year-old hasn't managed a goal or an assist in 6 of the 7 games his side have played against the rest of the Big Six. Salah despite having played 529 minutes fewer than the Liverpool star. Of course, it helps that 6 of those goals have come in City's last 2 home games, and though Aguero definitely likes his home comfort, he is now flat-track bully. Just under half of his 17 goals have come against City's big 6 rivals, which is now fluke. Number 3. Bernardo Silva. Silva's form has been enough to keep Leroy Sané sat on the bench for much of the season. Even when Sané started against Fulham, Silva moved into the middle and turned in a man-of-the-match performance. Fast forward another third of the campaign and Silva has not only maintained those standards, he's got even better. The 24-year-old saved his best performance of the season for the biggest game of the season. City could have dropped 10 points behind Liverpool at the start of last month, but Silva was relentless against the Reds, running further than anyone else in the game this season, in any game this season, clocking up 13.7 kilometres or 8.5 miles. To improve on the benchmark he set at Tottenham in October. Silva is a manager's dream. He prefers to play off the right flank, but the former Monaco star has spent 2/3 of the campaign through the middle, mostly covering for Kevin De Bruyne. The fact the Belgium star has not really been missed tells its own story about Silva's contribution to City's season. I don't see enough of Bernardo Silva to have an opinion, really. Number 2, I don't agree with this one. Eden Hazard. I don't think he's been that good. Early on, yes. How can they say Hazard has been better than Aguero? How can they say he's been better than Pogba in at least the last 10 games? How can they say he's been better than Mo Salah? I don't agree with this. The Chelsea star was our player of the season so far back in October, having scored 7 goals in 8 Premier League games. It seemed like the Belgian was determined to make the most of what was looking likely to be his final year at Stamford Bridge. Since then, with 5 goals in 17 games as an illustration, he hasn't quite been able to maintain those incredible standards. Hazard has had to spend much of his time since the opening weeks of the season covering for his teammates' deficiencies. Sarri decided he didn't have a centre forward fit for purpose, so the Belgian was used through the middle as a false number 9. The balance between goals and assists lurched towards Hazard, playing more as a creator than a scorer. But despite his sacrifice, Sarri still doesn't have his best player down as a leader. Sarri's words towards Hazard appear to have become more terse with each passing day that the player doesn't sign a new Chelsea contract. You cannot blame the manager for wanting some clarity on Hazard's plans, though right now he is probably more preoccupied with his own. And in first place, it's pretty obvious, is Virgil van Dijk, or VVD. Liverpool's record signing could prove to be the difference in the title race. According to Jamie Carragher, we talk about the attacking players City have at the other end. Liverpool can almost match them, I'd say. But in terms of Van Dijk, Liverpool have the best defender. Hold on guys, the bloody battery's about to go. Liverpool could actually win the league that way. Van Dijk is easily the best defender in the league. The Dutchman is comfortable in possession and can pass out from the back, just as anyone would expect of a Liverpool centre-back. But when it comes to the old school defensive principles, too many of which are no longer prioritised, while we look to churn out a long line of Franz Beckenbauer's style ball players, Van Dijk is head and shoulders above anyone else at the moment. You want proof? Van Dijk is yet to be dribbled past in the Premier League this season. We're deep into February, for fuck's sake. So that's your top 10 players of the season so far. Now, bear with me. We are going to knock this off and we're going to take a quick look at the fixtures coming up this weekend. Okay, so tomorrow in the Premier League we have Tottenham starting the day at Wembley 12:30 against Arsenal. Tottenham need to bounce back. They lost to Burnley last weekend 2-1. Spurs lost to Chelsea 2-0. In my opinion, they need a new goalkeeper. If Pochettino is to prove to be this manager we all think of him as, like the top manager, good enough to manage Real Madrid and Man United, he needs to be ruthless. He needs to get rid of Lloris. He is an accident waiting to happen. Like, he had his legs open the other day for that first goal, for the Pedro goal, and then he played a part in the Trippier own goal. It's just horrible to see, and that is why, in my opinion, Tottenham need a new goalkeeper if they are to push on. They also need to sort out the defence. You can't be playing Eric Davies ahead of Danny Rose, in my opinion. They sort the midfield. Sissoko and Wings are half decent, but they're not at the level of City's midfield. United's when they have Pogba, Herrera, and Matic. A couple of Liverpool midfielders are better than those. And the whole issue with bringing back Harry Kane, it's messed up the way they were playing a little bit. Obviously, Kane is their star man. I just think they've really blown it this season, the last couple of games, and it's a shame to see that they've done that again. And then you've got Arsenal, and they've ended up beating Bournemouth 5-1 just a couple of days ago. 5-1 at home. Arsenal will be going out full of confidence. Tottenham will be struggling with confidence. I mean, Tottenham didn't even look like scoring against Chelsea. I watched the game. It was horrible to watch. I'm going to go with Tottenham to win 1-0. Being out, I'm hoping it helps them out enough to get a victory. We have Bournemouth taking on Man City. Bournemouth, as I said, lost 5-1 to Arsenal midweek. City beat West Ham 1-0 with a penalty at the Etihad. I can only see a City win here, 2-0. Brighton at home to Huddersfield. Huddersfield got their third win of the season, I think it was the other day. At home to Wolves, a huge win. Brighton can't win. Brighton are in horrible form. They lost the other day to Leicester. Was it 2-0 or 3-0, something like that? I think Huddersfield will have some confidence after that victory against the Wolves, and I think they'll go to Brighton and get the win, because Brighton are in free fall at the minute. So I think Huddersfield go there, get a victory, and start believing that they could potentially do it. We have Burnley taking on Palace. Burnley beat Tottenham, but then go to Newcastle and lose. Not good enough from Burnley, not good enough at all. Palace lost the other day to United 3-1 midweek at Sellers Park. Good win for United, that was. I'm going to go with Burnley to get a win at home to Palace. 2-0 to Burnley. Man United Southampton. Southampton with a good win midweek. They beat Fulham at home. Again, Fulham needed something out of at least a point, but they didn't get it. Southampton with another good victory for them. And they are currently in 17th place. A whole 10 points ahead of Fulham now. I mean, Cardiff at 8 points ahead of Fulham, for Christ's sake. So realistically, right, it's looking like Brighton, Southampton and Cardiff. I'd say it's between them three for the third relegation spot. Man United, Southampton. United could win midweek. I didn't think it would beat Palace. In all honesty, I thought United might be lucky to get a draw, because the only players we had missing when they're 3-1. Great goal by Lukaku, that second one, and the first one, to be fair. I'm going to go with United to win 3-0 against Southampton at Old Trafford. Wolves, Cardiff at the Molineux tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Wolves need to bounce back, losing to Huddersfield last weekend. Not good enough. And then did they play midweek? I don't think they did they? I'm guessing. Let's have a quick look. Nope. Tuesday. Oh yeah, they lost to Huddersfield on Tuesday, sorry. And before that they lost. Oh, they drew with Bournemouth lost to Huddersfield away. So Wolves realistically need to bounce back and get their shit together. And a win against Cardiff at home would be a good result for Wolves. I'm going to back them to win 3-1. I was surprised at the Cardiff result midweek. Let me just check again because I can't remember who they actually lost to. On Tuesday, wasn't it? At home to Everton, losing 3-0. That was a shock result in my opinion. I thought Cardiff would win that game. West Ham Newcastle tomorrow. I'm going to go with a West Ham win. I know Newcastle beat Burnley, but West Ham were bad against Man City and only lost 1-0. I'm going with West Ham to win 2-1. Sunday we have Watford Leicester. Leicester under Brendan Rodgers, his first game in charge, returned to his old club, Watford. Watford battered midweek away at Liverpool, will want to bounce back and keep up their top 7 hopes. I'm going with a 2-2 draw. Fulham Chelsea. Chelsea to win this one 3-0 for me. Ranieri's win yesterday. Scott Parker is in charge, but it won't make no difference. Everton Liverpool 4:15. Now this one could be interesting. Everton beating Cardiff away midweek. Liverpool winning at home against Watford midweek. Liverpool going for the title. Everton would love to cause an upset. I'm going to go Liverpool to win this one now. 3-2. 3-2 to Liverpool. We've got any other big games over the weekend. Tonight we have Leeds West Brom in the Championship. Every game seems to be massive in the Championship. Leeds to win that game 3-0. Villa Derby, another big game. 2-2 draw. Villa Brentford QPR. I'll go with Brentford to win that one. Hull City Birmingham. Birmingham to win. Ipswich Reading down near the bottom. Ipswich to get a result. Millwall Norwich. Norwich at the top of the table, I think still, aren't they? I'll go with Norwich to win that one. 4-0. Preston Bristol City. Bristol lost the other day, but they had been on a good run. I'll go with them too. And I'll go with Preston to win 2-0. Rotherham Blackburn. A 1-1 draw. Stoke Forest. 2-0 to Stoke. Swansea Bolton. 1-0 Swansea, and Wigan Middlesbrough 2-0 to Borough. In La Liga we have Real Madrid against Barcelona, El Clasico. Real Madrid lost midweek to Barcelona in the Cup, in the second leg of their Spanish Cup tie. But I think they'll beat Barcelona at home. I think we might see Asensio and Bale start that game rather than Vasquez and Vinicius Jr. And I think we'll see Real Madrid win that game 2-1. In Germany, Bayern Munich away at Mönchengladbach. Schalke Dusseldorf. In Italy, Lazio Roma. What a big game with the Rome derby, huge. In the French league, Monaco away at Angers. PSG away at Cayenne Pepper. Oh, puppies, be quiet a minute, eh? Nope, they're off on one now. Bloody hell. Atletico Madrid away at Sociedad. Oh, I apologise. Napoli home to Juve on Sunday. Humongous game. Shh. Oh, we're going to let them out. Napoli Newcastle against Juve. Massive game that is.